Hello and welcome back to my Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program. My name is Hillstash, and this is going to be Season 2, Episode 1, because we've started over in version 0.19.1.54, apparently, with a fresh game. I've got Moon or Bust. That is a good goal of always, right? Nothing new there, nothing there. Hillstash-tacular. So, Season 2, Episode 1, Kerbal Space Program. Got nothing on the go. So, nice, easy start. How about we launch a cube satellite into orbit? And I've debated whether to show this part or not. And I figure, might as well. This is going to be a simple rocket, and we don't often get to see me build anything. So, what are things rockets need, or satellites need? First of all, power is something important. Whoops, gotta get used to the controls again. So we'll put a couple batteries on, and it needs a means of generating power. So let's put on some solar panels, and I can put those into action groups already. Toggle those with button 1. Okay, we need a means of communication. Is that over here? Yep. Let's we'll have a dish, and we'll put on one of these. Let's say something like that angle. Put them on an action group as well. Custom 2 to toggle those. Although toggle is not a very good way to describe that, because once they come out, I don't think either of these can refold up or come back. So that's a good base of a satellite. Another thing it needs is a little means of propulsion. So we'll put on the teeny little fuel tank and the teeny little engine. There. And now let me see. We need to. So that's going to be the satellite. We're going to call it Sputnik 1. I'm pretty sure many people have already used that name in their satellites. But I shall too. So let's see. Let's try this decoupler. It's one of the small ones. I'm not really familiar with them. I think this is one as well, but I don't know. Don't know the difference. Okay, now we need a way to get into a larger size. So this is going to be the kind of orbital insertion stage, let's call it. Yeah. So that's good. Put a little engine on there. Lots of fuel efficiency on that. Fuel efficiency, yeah. ISP is a good measure of fuel efficiency. The higher number, the better. ISP is measured in seconds, though, so it's a lovely confusing unit that you should probably look up on Wikipedia and learn about, because it's good reading. So now we have. Let's put on some. I was just thinking control. We'll have an ASAS on this stage, and might as well do RCS as well. And then with the RCS, we can then put on these thrusters. And I'm going to attempt to put them in kind of in the center of mass, although the center of mass will change as the fuel gets burned. So maybe put them up a little bit then, compensate for that. Okay, that's. Oh, one other thing then. Let's make this a controllable stage. For fun's sake. Is that looks good there, doesn't it? That's pretty close. Okay, so if we're gonna make this a controllable stage, then we also need more power. Do I need a battery? Probably a good idea. This is changing my center of mass too. It's putting it higher, I guess. Yeah. Let's move these up. Why not right there? They come directly from the fuel tank then. Don't need any sort of complicated lines between these. Okay, so we have battery, but we have no method of generating power yet, so tempting to put on nuclear power, but let's put on the A versions of these. Not 4 of them. 2 will be plenty sufficient. And they will be action group 3. Toggle these. So remember that when we get to orbit, we have to toggle those for power. And then we can toggle those later. So this is good. This is a good upper stage. Let's do the actual stage. Nope. Need something more here. We need a decoupler. And we'll do a couple of the larger fuel tanks and the LVT45 engine. It's got thrust vectoring with a little bit less thrust than the LVT30. 215 kilonewtons of thrust versus 200. But this is a great one for the center stage because it's thrust vectoring, so good steerage. Okay, decouplers. I'm going to do a what's my words? 2 boosters. So kind of similar to a space shuttle slash... Oh, let's move them up a little. Space shuttle slash... it's going to be like kind of like the Falcon 9 Heavy, although this is very much a not heavy version of the Falcon 9. This would be like a Falcon 1 Heavy with this single engine kind of thing. But I'm going to put the bigger engines on the booster stages. So because they're booster stages, and one thing I want to do is share their fuel. Similar to what the Falcon 9 Heavy is going to be doing, it's going to be having a fuel share with the center stage, and I think it's the outer 3 engines there and the outer 3 engines here are going to be using some fuel from the external stages, and the middle 3 engines will be burning from this stage. So when they separate, I believe that this center stage is going to have 2/3 fuel left. So it's essentially a 2/3 full Falcon 9 when those separate, and it's going to be going, you know, I would wager maybe like 1,000 some kilometers an hour, maybe more. No, probably more. Yeah, probably more in the order of 2,000 or 3,000 kilometers an hour and you know, probably 30, 40 kilometers up with starting essentially with almost a full Falcon. So it's going to be awesome. So stay tuned for that. I think it's later this year they're planning on launching the first Falcon 9 Heavy. I think it'll be amazing. Maybe I'll try to, for interest's sake, maybe I'll try to get on the social thing and go for the Twitter meetup thing. Although NASA's in trouble with that, aren't they? They had to cancel some of their outreach, I think. So anyway, put these on for making it look good. And that's a pretty good looking rocket, I have to say. The Kerputnik 1. I have to deal with staging. I want all engines to fire on takeoff. I don't think I need any supports. Just doing a double check here. I think everything's fine. Let's save it and give it a try. Something I thought about doing, and something maybe I'll still do, is some tutorials. I was just thinking I could do a tutorial here now, getting to orbit with a simple rocket, but maybe I'll do a quick video after and do a separate video for a tutorial on getting this Kerputnik into orbit. I think that would be worthwhile. But what I will do is talk throughout this launch, just for interest's sake, because I haven't done that in a while. I tend to fast forward through all my launches. So I've got SAS on. Not much else to do, but do a takeoff here. So let's do it like this. Okay, in 3, 2. Okay, that's a pretty good takeoff. Accelerating fairly quickly. I will talk a little bit about what goes on here as well. Maybe it'll be a good practice for me for what's going to be happening in the tutorial video. Back this off a little bit so it's a little quieter. So want to keep it somewhere around 100 meters a second because it's pushing through a lot of dense atmosphere for the first while here. And to go any faster, you're just going to be wasting more fuel pushing against atmosphere. So 100 meters a second is what people generally agree on as a good speed where you're not kind of ideal, like you're gaining altitude quick enough, but you're not wasting fuel. Not wasting very much fuel pushing through the thick atmosphere. On Earth, it's a little bit different. Our atmosphere drops off quicker, I think, than maybe Kerbal does. Or maybe it's not as quick. Anyway, things are scaled differently on Earth than Kerbal. And you can see with the shuttle and the Falcon 9 and stuff like that, they tilt over earlier. I think that's the reason why. I'm already gaining a lot of speed here. I'm already at 6 kilometers though, so that's not that bad of a thing. Anyway, they start their gravity turns much earlier for whatever reason. Maybe someone can tell me why. I don't know. I think it's due to our atmosphere being different. And they accelerate, like this is still like a third of the speed of sound, whereas they, a minute 34 in, would already have broken the speed of sound, so I think somewhere around then is when they do. Anyway, I'm coming up to 10 kilometers, so I'm going to start my gravity turn. Go head over to about 10 degree tilt over. Just try to keep it on the 90. And yeah, I don't mind that we're accelerating this fast now. We're out of kind of the thicker part of the atmosphere, and we're going to be losing these. We're going to be losing these boosters soon, which is fine. We're going to do a little bit more tilt before that happens, and switch this to orbit view so I can see what my actual heading is. Whoa. Okay, I hope. Don't know what that was, but everything seems to be functioning okay. You can hit F3 and it shows you. Okay, the radial decoupler collided, which is fine because the decoupler is thankfully off of here now. So I think everything's okay. So I'm going to look at my map view. Things are happening fairly quickly now, so don't mind me if I start talking quick. 22 kilometers of altitude, 24 apoaps. Tilt a little bit more. So this is dropping though. Oh, it should be more at full throttle here, I think. I forgot this engine's, we got not a whole lot of thrust for the amount of mass that this has. It wasn't under a thrust to weight ratio of 1, but it was a little bit closer, so you can see there's not a whole lot. Oh, it's I guess about 1.5 Gs now. So yeah, okay, it's got a good amount of power, but maybe I was tilted over a little too much for things, because I like this vector to be up around the 45 degree mark. This is the prograde vector, so this is the direction my spaceship's actually traveling. But this is coming up okay now. I'm not too worried. I think this ship's going to have plenty of fuel to get to orbit. In fact, I'm going to start tilting over more. Go somewhere around 45 degrees now. Keep it on the 90. Looking good. And, oh, really coming up quite a bit. I don't like to come up this fast typically. I want, by the time I hit around 75 kilometers, I tend to want my horizontal speed to be much higher, but so we'll take it up to maybe 80 kilometers and do a cutoff at this point. A MECO, if you will. Nope, not RCS. Okay, that's a MECO. Now, a lot of normal spacecraft can't do this. Falcon 9, with its engines, can cut off the engine and start it back up again, the second stage engine. Whereas this one here, this is technically not a second stage engine yet. This is still kind of my first stage, which definitely indicates to me that we're going to have plenty of fuel to get to orbit. We have 58 seconds too. That's something I got to keep an eye on. That's something I'm bad at. If you've watched my previous videos, is I'm talking while passing my apoaps and falling back before I can fire up the engines and getting a terrible orbit. So somewhere around 15 seconds maybe, I will be firing up the engine again. And what I want, hopefully, is for this stage to be still suborbital when this cuts off, and then it could go back, fall back to the ground without me having to do anything. I don't want to clutter up my orbit this episode, or this season, I guess I'll call it. So, waiting for around 15. I think that's 15 is appropriate. And what I'm going to do is just line myself up a little better here and fire now. Let's see how that's going. Pretty good. I don't really want to get... You don't really want to get too far behind your... You don't want the apoaps to get out behind you, actually. It's something... I should have fired a little bit earlier, I guess, but that's a little bit of a learning experience, I guess. We're shooting for about 2230 meters per second. Should get a periaps here shortly. Perfect. And so that means this stage is going to fall back without me having to do anything. 75, 80. So you want to wait till they start to flip around. And right about when they flip around is when you're pretty close to having circular. And that's pretty close there. But because I got behind my apoaps, or the apoaps got behind me, it means that it wasn't possible to get a nice circular orbit on one kind of go at it. So, excellently, that will fall back. I hit 3 now. Deploy my solar panels, so we have tons of power. And now what I'll do is I'm going to continue this out to, let's say about 300 kilometers maybe. This is where this satellite's going to live its life. And now's a good time to do it. I probably wouldn't have done a cutoff there. I would have kept on going to the 300, but oh well, we're in a nice stable orbit. I can do it now. I can use some RCS as well to help turn faster. Whoa. Somewhere around there. And let's take it up to 300. Not going to take much fuel to get out there. Whoops. A little bit far, that's fine. And now, let's fast forward time a little bit and watch this altitude on this one. We'll switch to it when it's getting nice and low, and hopefully we can see some re-entry effects. And it's going to be nighttime too, which could look pretty good. It's not going to have, I think, tons of re-entry effects because it's not going very fast. It's not going to be going very fast when it hits the atmosphere, just because it was barely, no, not even quite orbital. So, okay, watching for the speed. It's still going up. Still going up. 2360. Oh, it's not going to. I have to switch to it. Shoot. Oh crap. Can I switch to it? Uh-oh. No, I want to switch to it. Debris. Switch to the debris. No. Tell me I can switch to the debris. Oh no. Oh, I can't. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I guess I'd have to have switched to it off the beginning. Oh, that's disappointing. I was hoping to get some nice re-entry effects going, but I will have plenty more time for that in the future. Can't even see it from here. We're so far out probably by now. And it's about to disappear. See, I was wondering if the speed kept going up. It should have been slowing down in the atmosphere by now, but I forgot it's on rails and it's not simulating the atmosphere, so that's unfortunate. Well, it shall disappear shortly. I think it's around 25 kilometers they disappear. Nope, maybe it's low. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Alas. I apologize. Good news, too, is we'll have some light out this direction. Don't have to worry about running out of power. Okay, and I want to try to get ahead of the apoaps here. Not let it get behind me this time. When we launch Sputnik, we separate it from the orbital stage. Okay. It is released. Get its panels out. And perfect. We're ahead of it by not very much. 19 seconds. So let's... Whoa, whoa, this thing is touchy. Forgot about that. Okay, let's circularize this orbit. Gotta turn on the engines. There we go. Apoap's got a little bit behind again, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We'll be pretty close. Oh, wait, no, it's coming back out in front again. Good. You can kind of control that by how you point up and down. So if I want it to kind of come back a little bit, I point down. See, now it's going to flip. There's almost nothing I can do. Well, there's 300 there. It's almost right on. So let's leave that, and we can potentially fix the apoapse in the future to bring it back down to 300. And only 3 kilometers away is our ship that brought us here. Let's point downwards. Bring out the communications dealies. Everything's good. Fuel, tons of power. Generating lots of power here. And presumably then, if there was some sort of listening station, where are we? Well, there's the big crater. Presumably we have some listening stations out here. Otherwise, we'll need some orbital satellites to do a communications network, which is something maybe I should do. Put some in Kerbal orbit. That could be a fun video. Have I done that before? I might have done that before. Anyway, everything's good there. We're too far away to switch to you. Can we switch to you from here? What is going on with that? Why can't I double click on things anymore? I wonder if they've changed something there. Which one's which? That's interesting that they didn't call the main body the probe. But this is the one now. Now, do we deorbit this one? It's got so much fuel left, but I didn't put a docking port on it. So let's deorbit it. And yeah, okay. And maybe we'll do some re-entry effects here. Still have RCS. This is good. This is good, actually. I was disappointed I wouldn't be able to show you re-entry effects, but no, let's do it now. So we'll deorbit. And we're going to do it fairly aggressively as well to get maximum re-entry effects. Okay, let's hope we hit land as well. Just for interest's sake, that should hit land fairly easily, I think. And we'll watch the solar panels come off as well. This is fantastic. Blocked by fuel tank. Oh, they've done a really good job on figuring out what, like, occludes other things. Kudos to the team that makes this fantastic game. Okay. We're aiming right there. We are going to come down fairly aggressively. I think. This should be going up fairly quickly. So the other one was coming in at 2,300 or so. I'm hoping this one will be much higher, but I'm thinking maybe it won't, because it's somewhere around here it's going to start slowing down. Either way, coming up to 2,200. Let's turn off RCS and this and see what kind of direction it wants to spin. 2250. That's now switched to surface, and we should definitely. Nice. It's a possibility we could even get Mach effects here. No, slowed down too much. Oh no, Mach effects! Yes, first time seeing them. So that lets us know we were still well over the speed of sound when we went below the altitude. So it's fixed right now, I guess. What I understand is when you're below a certain altitude, I believe, no matter what, you'll see Mach effects, even if you're still going fast enough to have been burning up. So potentially something for them to fix. They have a lot of fixing to do with the aerodynamic system, though. So, you know, not a lot to worry about there yet. They have a lot of work. Very nice. All right, and with that, I think I'm going to call it an episode, almost within sight of the crater. So that's the end of episode 1, season 2 of Kerbal Space Program. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Hillstash, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. We can leave some comments as well. I also love getting comments and try to respond. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon.